Kia ora everyone, welcome to a very special pre and post run virtual yoga club. So what you will have just seen is a time lapse of my usual pre-run warm-up stretches. There's a mixture of both dynamic and static stretches in there, and what we're going to do now for our post-run sequence is run through 3 separate flows to bring us back down, to loosen everything out and to make sure that we're not too stiff and sore tomorrow. So the idea is that you can chuck this video on, run through the pre-stretches and the time lapse, pause it, go for your run, come back. Now we're post-run, we're going to stretch and cool down. So the first thing we're going to do is come down onto our mat into our downward dog position. A lot of these poses will be repeated from what we did in our warm-up, and that's because we're stretching out those same muscle groups again. We're going to start with our downward dog, so wrists under, elbows under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck the toes under, pushing the hips up and back. From here we're going to pick up the left leg into 3-legged dog. Open up the hip. Back to 3-legged dog, then we're going to swing the leg forward into our pigeon pose. Shuffle that back leg back if you need to. If you want to come down into a low pigeon, feel free to do that as well. We're going to tuck that back toe under again, push back into our 3-legged dog, so straight back, open the hip again, back to that 3-legged dog, bring it forward this time, plant the foot at the front. We're going to head into our lizard pose. So hands on the inside of the foot, open that knee out to the side, stretch out the hips. If you want to come down into a low lizard, you can, but you don't have to. What we're going to do with our lizard today is a bit of an extension, so we're actually going to walk the hands around to the side and just deepen that hip stretch. So we're walking our hands around to the open side. Back to center. Alright, we're going to push back into our runner's lunge. Sitting back on that back heel. Front heel is where you should be resting so we don't have a flat foot. You want to stretch out the back of that front leg. Good. We're going to bring that leg back and actually come down into our cobra before we repeat it on the other side. So coming up. Tuck the toes under, pushing up and back, repeating the same sequence. This time we're doing it on the right side. So lifting that right leg up, open the hip, back to straight leg, bring the leg through, into pigeon. Doing it. Alright, pick that back leg up, back straight into that 3-legged dog, so sweep it up, open the hip, back to straight leg, bring it forward, this time planting foot, I had to think about that for a second, into our lizard. Okay, when you're ready, we're just going to walk those hands out to the side to open up that hip. Center. Alright, coming back into that runner's lunge, and that's our first flow done. Alright, so we're staying on our mats. We're going to start with our hare pose. Knees out to the side. Coming, reaching forward, resting the body and the head on the ground. From our hare pose today, we're going to come up and into cobra again. Coming down, hands under shoulders, elbows tucked in, lengthen your spine, coming up. Shoulders down away from the ears, keep the neck nice and free. From our cobra today, we're going to tuck the toes under at the back and then push back into that extended puppy pose. So arms, torso and head are off the mat this time, pushing those heels back, the hips back towards the heels. We're going to come up with the hands back and sit back in our hero pose. This is to stretch out the quads. So what I'd like you to try is to just lean back. Even just a slight lean is going to stretch out those quads nice and deep. As far back as you can go. Doesn't have to be too crazy. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come back into that hare pose and run through that sequence one more time. Alright, coming up, heading into that cobra pose. So bring the knees back in, lying down on your belly. Remember to keep a slight bend in the elbows so we're not blocking out. When you're doing things like downward dog and cobra, make sure that your fingers are spread out so that you can see the mat in between your fingers. Okay, tuck the toes under. We're going to push back into that extended puppy. Then pushing back into a hero pose, leaning back to stretch the quads if you can. Just sitting in hero pose will stretch out the quads, especially if they're tight, so this part is optional. It is a good stretch though. Okay, one more flow to go. For this last flow, you are going to need your straps. We're going to come back down onto the mat and do a lying strap sequence for our legs. So if you want to, before you lie down, put the strap around the ball of your right foot. So not in the arch, not around the toes or around the heel. I like to wrap the strap around my hands because it is quite long. Then I'm going to lie back, keeping my left leg straight on the mat, my hips flat. And then I'll pull my elbows in close, keeping a slight bend in the knee so I'm not stressing the joint. Keep breathing. Take the straps in the opposite hand, so my right leg is in the air. I'm going to take the straps in my left hand. And keeping my hips on the ground, I'm going to gently pull that leg across my body. It's not a huge movement, I'm not rolling onto the side, but it is going to target this area of your thigh and your hip. So if we rolled over in the stretch with it, we're not really stretching anything. We're just moving our body position. So while keeping our hips on the ground, limits the movement and enhances the stretch. From here we're going to take the straps in the same hand, right leg and right hand, and open that leg up to the side. We're now going to stretching the inside of the thigh. Alright, to come out of that I'm going to loosen my grip on the strap, let my legs swing down, I'm going to swap them over. Seamless transition. Make sure that strap's sitting in the right place on the foot. Once you're good to go, straighten that right leg out so it's flat on the ground. Pull the elbows in close, put a little bend in the knee, and breathe. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much to remember, stop saying things. But that's why I'm here. You don't have to think, you just have to listen. Taking the strap in the opposite hand, so left leg's in the air, straps are in the right hand, hips are on the ground still, pulling that leg across the body nice and gently. This one feels easier than the other side. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm going to have to wiggle that a bit. So, if I can open my foot up to the side. There we go. So leg out to the same side now. Stretching the inner thigh. Let's go around. And release. Come back up. You can put the straps to one side. Come back onto my net. And we're going to do a happy baby. Grabbing the feet, finding some movement, massaging that lower back. So whenever I go for a run, the first thing to tighten up is my lower back, my hammies. So I have to make sure that they're nice and stretched out and warm before I go for a run, and then I pay extra attention to them when I come back. Also good to think about your feet. I'm someone, I have flat feet, and so as soon as they start tightening up, it just is a chain reaction all the way up. So I grab the golf ball or a lacrosse ball and roll out my feet quite a lot. Also, what you can do to add to your pre and post run sequences is some foam rolling. Especially good for like the day after a run if you're feeling a little bit tight and sore. Give them a foam roll. Okay, from here we're going to do a spinal twist. Bring the knees up to the center. Drop them to the right hand side, looking over your left shoulder. Bring the knees back to centre. Drop them to the left side this time looking over your right shoulder. Looking over your opposite shoulder just encourages a stretch in the chest and the arm as well as in the spine. And bring the knees back to centre. Okay, and slowly in your own time, without rushing, move to a seated position. Okay, we're going to finish our post-run sequence with our legs up the wall, and what we're going to incorporate with that today is our thread the needle stretch. So the reason I'm doing this while we're doing legs up the wall today is because it just helps enhance that stretch a little bit more. It can be quite hard, depending on your body shape and size, to do thread the needle just lying on your back. I find it kind of difficult to loop my arms through. I've got short arms, short legs, so when I'm in the position of legs up the wall, it's a lot easier for me to target those areas that we stretch in that position. So I'll include it here for you as well. But I will say goodbye now, because what I'll do is once we've done our thread the needle stretch, we're going to stay in that restorative legs up the wall position. The video is going to fade out and then you can just chill. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you use the sequence pre and post run. Let me know what stretches you really like, which ones helped you, and happy running. Okay, to come into our legs up the wall pose, come nice and close to the wall. Hopefully you have a nicer wall than mine that isn't covered in cobwebs and dust. From here, I'm as close as to the wall as I can get. I'm going to lie back, swing my legs up, and then there's going to be a little bit of shuffling to get into the right position. So, my legs and my butt are right up against the wall, so if you need to shuffle further forward, that's fine. Okay, Once you're in it though, this is a great pose. To do our thread the needle stretch while we're here, take one leg, bring it across the other, resting on the thigh, and then with that foot that's at the top, you're going to just slide it down. Doesn't have to be a huge amount, but you should feel the stretch in the outside of this glute. If that's too much, just ease off a little bit. Even just the act of sitting in this position with your leg coming across is going to do a little bit of a stretch. Bringing the knee down is just a really good way to enhance it. Listen to your body though, and do what feels right. The only problem with the virtual classes is that I can't see what you're doing. So, and I can't, even if I could see, I can't feel what you're feeling. Even if I could see what you were doing, I can't feel what you're feeling. So you really need to be in tune with what's going on while you're in the poses, what feels good, what doesn't. If you're finding you're having some issues with something, flick me a message and we'll sort it out. Right, let's swap over to the other side. Straighten both the legs up again. The other leg down. Okay, coming out of that thread the needle, one last thing that we're going to do while we're here is just a little bit of ankle movement in case you've got stiff or sore ankles. So we're going to start just by going side to side. You might actually just rest it on the other leg so you've got some movement. Pointing, pointy toes, flat foot. This is going to get the calves as well. And some circles, so do 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise. Alright, let's swap over. So start with just a cross. To 20, I guess. Up and down, pointy toes, flat foot, pointy toes, flat foot. And circles, 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise. If you're like me, I'm going to get all the clicks out. So I'm going to leave you to relax in this position. You can bring your feet down and relax in that bound ankle pose as well. I find this one super comfortable. Totally up to you. It's about what feels good for you. Taking some nice deep breaths.